सजानंद स्वामी महाराजની જય, અક્ષર પુરુષોત્તમની જય, દિનકર અંકલ મહારાજની જય જય જય. So I've been on a back to basics kick. So if you've heard Ben Sabha recently, it's a lot of kind of very basic questions. But, you know, there's a lot of material to go through, so I'm just going to share some basic information on Sharad Purnima. That Sharad Purnima was known as Kojagiri Purnima, and it's a harvest festival. So it's celebrated on the full moon day of the month of Ashwin, and it marks the end of the monsoon season. So on that day, a lot of people fast, and they perform a Kojagiri Vrat, and then after that, they eat Dudh Poa. So for us, the remnant of that is pretty much the Dudh Poa, I think. And we eat that on Sharad Purnima. So thank you, Rita Auntie, for the Dudh Poa today. In 1784, Sharad Purnima took on a whole new meaning for us, because that's the day, or that's the year that Anadimu Lakshar Gunatitanand Swami was born. We're forever grateful to him for coming as God's abode and embodying the Akshar Purushottam Upasana. And in my opinion, Gunatitanand Swami, his coming took something that you know, is a very kind of highly elevated, it's very conceptual philosophy, like stuff, and he just made it very accessible to us in this day and age by coming down in human form and granting us, you know, not just his darshan, but also, you know, like Pintubai said, just the things that he taught us about how to be this ideal devotee. And so, you know, I wanted to just spend some time talking about the Akshar Purushottam Upasana, because that's, when I came into this satsang, that was something very different and unique for me. It took me a while to grasp, but, you know, I think it takes something that's so beyond and beyond and beyond, and really, literally, you know, hands it to us on a silver plate. And so just giving some background, that it's a philosophy that establishes Swaminarayan Bhagwan as the supreme, with Gunatitanand Swami as his ideal devotee. It is, and it was really formalized, as we know, by Shastriji Maharaj when he established, you know, Akshar Purushottam and all the mandirs. It's also known as the Brahm Parabrahm philosophy, and Akshar Brahm is Parabrahm's ideal devotee, and he is ever present through the Ganatit Sadhu on earth. The Ganatit Sadhu, I think we always want to clarify, is not God, but God works through him. Parabrahm is the supreme God. He is the ultimate entity and controls all the cosmos and everything around us. He is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer. And so the Akshar Purushottam Upasana implies four things. That God is the all-doer, the Sarvakarta. He always has a divine form, Divya Sakar. He is supreme and transcends all, so he's Sarvapari. And he is always present in human form. He's Pragat. So according to Gunatitanand Swami, Gunatitanand Swami he gives us the ultimate moksha, that ultimate redemption or liberation can only be attained through this upasana. And when I think of, you know, kind of, I guess, the heavy philosophical terms, that, you know, that Akshar has two forms. One is the formless, all-pervading heavenly abode, and then the physical form that is in service of God wherever he goes. So, you know, and with that, the lesson for us and the preaching was that we have to offer, in order to offer that pure worship of God, to become that ideal devotee, we need to become Brahmarup and then serve God. So, you know, we have basically boiled it down literally into 4 words up there. But that is the intent and the goal of life. So to achieve this, devotees were instructed to really associate with and serve Brahm. and that's often the saint, Satpurush or Sadhu, who is incarnated with God. So back in those days, it was really, Bhagwan and Gunatitanand Swami, and yes, a lot of other santos. But I think we're lucky in this day and age that we have so many. And that in order to worship God, in order to offer worship, we have to think that, we're in Bhagwan's words, it's when one has the darshan of such a sant, one should realize, I have had the darshan of God himself. So that's how powerful this sant is. That's how powerful the type of worship that we have is, and that's how he remains pragat for us. And, while I was reading this, and this kind of goes with a lot of things that Pintubai was saying, but, Bhagwan Swami, who's showing all the santos how to put on a tilak chandlo, he put one on Gunatitanand Swami, and he said, this is our tilak. So that tilak in the tilak chandlo is representative of Gunatitanand Swami and really the lotus feet of God. And, again, when I think of how much Gunatitanand Swami, and, for me that's what Sharad Purnima symbolizes, is the gift that he gave us, that he gave up everything, and he lived a very strict and disciplined life, so that we can understand what it takes to have Bhagwan embodied in our hearts. And, just a couple of 100 years later, we have Dinkar Uncle, we have had Kakaji, Papaji, all the Gunatit Samaj, to show us what it takes to be, akshar in this day and age. Because we don't have to become a sadhu, we don't have to live, we don't have to live like a completely separate life. We can live a regular daily life in which we embody Bhagwan, or, in which we can embody Bhagwan in our heart. So, Dinkar Uncle, my prayer is that just you have taught us not by preaching, but by action. And so I pray that, I don't just have all these words coming out of my mouth, but I can behave in such a way that, I embody you also in my heart. Sajan and Sumbarajini Jai.
Pujamulam Guror Padam Mantramulam Guror Vakyam Moksha